Nearly 10 years ago, I was in Copenhagen working on the biggest book of my career. When I say big, I mean big. It was big, 210,000 words. And it was an adaptation of the great Danish TV series The Killing, with the wonderful detective Sarah Lund. Now, this was a fascinating project because I was there to adapt the TV into book form in the way that scriptwriters adapt novels into film and TV form. I wasn't there to photocopy the script. I was there to make it work in another medium. So my Killing is rather different in some very significant ways to the TV because that's the way adaptation works. But it also faced me with a huge challenge. 20 hours of TV, a huge cast and an ABC set of storylines. So lots of different narratives weaving in and out of one another. I had no idea how I was going to be able to manage that, but I was pretty sure it was going to be impossible if I just relied on a standard word processor like Microsoft Word. There just weren't the tools to micromanage the whole thing in the way I wanted. So I turned to a little known then app called Scrivener. Everybody's heard of Scrivener now, it's incredibly popular and deservedly so. But with Scrivener, I was able to break the thing down into the mosaic, the jigsaw of different parts that everything is really in storytelling. Novels aren't one big lump of text, they are lots of fragments. And keeping hold of those fragments and maintaining the continuity between them and making sure they work together is one of the big challenges we all face in writing. I then fell into the way of just using dedicated writing apps for subsequent books, first with Scrivener and later with Ulysses on the Mac, which I really love because that has a lot of the power of Scrivener, all the power I need, but is an awful lot simpler to use and to export from. The problem remains, at the end of every project, I have to send a file on to my publisher, and a publisher will work in Word because Word is the lingua franca of publishing and will remain so. You will get your edit back with comments in the margin, with track changes. There is no avoiding Word in publishing. So I thought I'd set out to see how much Word has actually changed over the years, whether 10 years on it can be used in the way that you use something like Scrivener or Ulysses or one of the other dedicated writing apps. And the surprising answer is yes, it has changed a lot. It's got a lot better and you can get very, very close to that kind of micromanaged frame of working. Now, I have to offer a large caveat here. If you're a Mac user, I'm afraid you're going to be very disappointed because this only really works on Windows. The Mac app is very disabled when it comes to some of the finer tools that we're going to be looking at here. The good news for Windows users is there are really only 5 simple steps. First of all, go to Word Options, select Customize ribbon and Customize, then Customize Keyboard. Go to the View tab, set a shortcut key from the nav pane. Remember to click Assign. Go to Toggle Focus Mode, pick another shortcut key. Again, remember to click Assign because if you don't, it won't stick there. And we're done with the Options menu. All we have to do now is assign keyboard shortcuts to do 3 styles. Heading 1, Heading 2, Heading 3. I just use Control 1, Control 2 and Control 3 for this, so it's very easy to remember. And that's all the preparatory work done. You can save this as a file, you can save this as a template to reuse time and time again. I've created 3 heading styles here because this would be for a book that has 3 different levels of heading. Parts, chapters and scenes. A lot of you would only want 2, which would be chapters and scenes. The scene heading is centered and will always have a hash mark on it, which is the sign in publishing of a scene divider. And what I also add to the scene divider is just a tag, a line saying what this scene is, perhaps who's in it, We're going to use these for navigating around our manuscript, and of course in the end, before delivery, they will be taken out. Now, dedicated writing apps offer three things that always used to be very difficult with Word. They are the ability to move scenes around easily, which used to involve a lot of cut and paste, to merge scenes, and to split scenes. Just the flexibility to be able to move your narrative around and see how it works best. Let's look at split and merge. In a dedicated app, this will normally be a shortcut, and then you get two documents. In Word, it really couldn't be easier to make a split. You just do line return, style 3, and put in that hash mark. To get rid of a split, to merge two scenes, you just get rid of the hash mark. Simple enough, but what about move? Well, here is where that navigation pane shortcut comes in. You hit it, and there you see all of your headings, 1, 2, and 3. And you can just move anything around simply by dragging the heading. That's all you have to do. Something else that's important, to me anyway, is the ability to be able to count individual scenes and parts easily without having to select the whole thing and look at a bar or something, which is the way it used to be in Word. Let's see how you can do this. Just right-click on any heading for a scene, for a part, for a chapter. Select heading and content, and you see the word count against the total word count at the bottom. Here's another neat trick. Imagine you have an A story, a B story, and a C story, and you only want to see the A story scenes. That's very easy in dedicated writing apps, but it's also been very hard in Word. Not any longer. Go to any heading and hold your mouse over the hash bit there, and you'll see that little triangle come up. Click it, and it will fold down the entire scene. You can do that so you only see one scene if that's the way you want to work. And this also works in folding down headings in the sidebar. And finally, the thing that dedicated writing apps pioneered in the beginning, full screen mode, the ability to have nothing on the screen except your words. Well, Word has got it now. All you have to do is hit that focus shortcut key that we set up in the beginning, and everything will disappear. Hit it again and you get your normal document back. And in focus mode, you can get that navigation sidebar too. Is Word adapted like this a replacement for Ulysses or Scrivener or one of those other dedicated writing apps out there? No. I mean, definitely it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that you'll find on those apps, but it does have more than you'd probably imagined. It's worth asking yourself, is this enough? Is it worth a try if you've got Word already, just to see if it could fit into your particular style of writing and work that way? Because there are some delightful things about it. I mean, it's great that at the end of the process, you don't have to go through this exporting business and checking that it's exported correctly and fiddling with the formatting or anything. And there are nice tools. There's an editor in there that will pick up bad punctuation, double spaces and things like that. So it's become much more sophisticated over the years. But I think the key thing about writing that I always say to people is don't copy the way other people work. Find a way that works for you and then stick with it. And don't think that there's some magic solution around the corner that will unlock your creativity. Writing is not like that. I mean, it is about the words, and what you're really looking for isn't something that's going to make it easier for you to write. It's something that's going to make it less hard. I hope you find that interesting, and come back here and I'll do a few more videos about writing and books and publishing and other things from now on. Since we're all locked down, there's not an awful lot else to do, really, is there?